I love mouses.
How are you? Hope you're fine. This is the Shy Yeti Show.
Okay, where you go?
Why have I got horns?
Oh no.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's gonna be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over. He's ready to record.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep?
Oh, your show's getting so international, Paul.
Boy, he said all that shy is right.
He's such a winner.
Blimey, Governor, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, Paul.
772.
I think I've had it done.
772. 772. 772.
Say you're haunted. Say you're haunted.
772. Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast de Shy Life.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Shy Life Podcast with me, Paul the Shy Yeti. How you doing? Well, I'm alright. So, what's this episode going to be about? Well, it's another poetry episode because we're celebrating 20 years of a collection that I wrote called Mugshots back in 2005. And we're going to be looking at, well, I'm using the edition that I've released in 2000 and, well, it actually came out in 2014, but I released two collections in 2005. So when it came to doing the 10th anniversary reissue books, I guess I thought it was wise to get on and release it a little bit early, so never mind. But I'll tell you more about the book in a moment. Let's run that theme music. When we come back, I'll be telling you about Mugshots and reading some of my favourite pieces. Right, run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
My favorite person is here.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Yes, but it's a positive thing, though. The highlight, the Shy Life.
I'll go anyway, don't say so.
Hello, chapters. How are you?
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh my, have you ever found out my secret? Yes, he has.
I love the Yeti test. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
It's all gooey and meaty and yum, 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 yum.
It was enormous.
I don't think I'm ready to speak about it.
Here comes the grizzly.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I can't wait for it to begin.
Sorry, I'm just being an alien. I like that.
Hi there.
Marvelous, Paul.
Oh, looking back, no, nothing.
So, Mugshots, it's got a secondary title of something to smile about, but I was just thinking before I started recording, I don't quite remember why the book's called Mugshots, except I guess each poem is like a snapshot of a story, some characters, a situation, and maybe the book should have been called Snapshots, but there is a mugshot on the cover. It's me from a Halloween event I attended in 2004. I've got a strange black and green wig on, and I've got a pumpkin which we made. We were going to see the Scissor Sisters for a Halloween show, and everyone was supposed to be dressing up. When we actually left, I wore a Frankenstein mask, which I'd got quite cheaply from Woolworths. It looked pretty good, but that's not what I'm wearing in this photo. We had an afternoon of good food and wine, and we're a little bit merry. You can't see the other people who were there, at least not in this picture. I think there were other pictures of the rest of the people there, but But this was the photo I used when the book came out in 2005, and I reused it for this reissue. I'm not sure that was always the case with the books, with the re-releases, because this was the penultimate book that I released originally as like a hand-bound edition and only sold to friends, really. It was when Lulu came along and I started using Lulu in 2005, 2006. I sort of paired the collections together, but then sort of came back to them when it was their 10th anniversary. And this is one of those collections. I'll read the back cover. Mugshots, first published in early 2005, was Paul's 7th self-published collection and is 6th to include completely contemporary compositions. Even back then, he was writing his Daft Yeti verse, but until now, Mugshots has only been available alongside its sister volume, Poetiquette, also reissued in 2015. And we'll be doing an episode about Poetiquette later in the year. So this is the first time it stood alone. And I don't mention that I originally released it as a hand-bound version. This 10th anniversary edition contains photos and facts about the book, and many of these poems Paul still regularly performs today. Come For Me, Come Up a Tree, Keep On Getting It Wrong, Little Ben, My Catwalk, The Only You There Is, and Swept Off My Feet, but many poems that he doesn't, at least not yet. So, as we flick through the pages, there's all the usual sort of information about when the original collection was released and the people who helped me with this 10th anniversary version. Of course, there are a lot more photos in this edition than there were. The book is 112 pages long, which is longer than the original. But so let me read you the titles. You've got The Ballad of Jezebel Pumpkina, Ballad of Specky Ant, The Bears in the Band, Carlos the Cowardly Bullfighter, Cats Should Wear Mufflers, A Change in the Seasons verse 1, A Change in the Seasons verse 2, Come For Me, Come Up a Tree, Do You Believe in the Power of Europop, Full Fat Smile, Glitter Ball, Good to Talk, Hairy Men, Hated, A Hippie Beard, I'm Never Invited to Orgies, I Can't Bear the End, I'm Getting My Inner Child Adopted, Indoor Fireworks, Ingrid Bergman's Nose, In Praise of Monsters, In Talks with the Cat, It's Your Husbands We're After, Keep On Getting It Wrong, Let's Be on the Noisy Table, Little Ben, Look I'm No Scrooge, Milton Keynes' Fashion Disaster 1971, My Catwalk, My Imaginary Friend, Never at Home, Never Steal Another Man's Rhubarb, Oldest Goth in Town, The One Left Behind, The Only You There Is, On the Evils of Kitten Tennis, Past His Sell By Date, A Pink Pounding, Please Shoot Me, Potatoes Have Eyes, The Rain Makes Me Look Like I'm Crying, Really Screaming, Seemed Like a Nice Boy, Sesquipedalian Scholar, Sexy Bernard, Slutty Kitty, Swept Off My Feet, They All Hate Me, They Write Themselves, Things Ain't What They Used to Be, Part 1 and 2, Topic Conquers, The Tragic Tale of Cynthia and Simon, What If, Inner Voice, and Who Cares? And in a moment or two we'll be reading some of those, or I'll be reading some of those, and you'll be listening hopefully. Flicking to the back of the book, there's the usual, I recorded all of the dates of when each of the poems were written, mainly written in the autumn and sort of between about September and November, December 2004. I was writing a lot back then. The previous book was out in 2004, so I was usually writing new stuff as I was putting together, finishing off a collection. It would get to a point and I think, okay, I've got enough material, that's where this book ends, and then I'd do all the formatting and all that sort of thing. And certainly this was the way that things were with the later books too. I would be proofing and formatting and writing the extra material whilst writing new poems for the next collection. There's also a section where I write about each of the poems in Mugshots. And when I came to do the 10th anniversary, not only did I include the original comments from 2004, but I also added comments of what I thought of the poem looking back from 10 years distance. I also would put in sort of details because by 2014 I'd been doing my live shows for quite a while. So I always used to record when I had performed them, if I had performed them. And I added that to the behind-the-scenes comments, as much for myself as for anybody else, because I don't think I'd remember now what I performed and what I didn't perform and when I performed. So I'm glad I did that. The rest of this book, you've got a few posters replicated from live shows. I did a show called Yeti Poetics on Friday the 18th of July at the Poetry Cafe, and that was for me to preview material from my book, Yeti Way of Thinking, which was one of those books that was ready for quite a long time but just seemed to get delayed, and I really can't remember why now. Then I had another show called Smile Please, and that was Wednesday the 17th of September. And that is when I got to read material from Mugshots, sort of slightly in advance for the 10th anniversary. Because I released this version of the book just slightly after the show, I was able to put details of the show and which poems I read. They weren't all poems from Mugshots. There were new poems and older poems, but yes, a decent helping of poems from Mugshots. Again, nice to have that recorded. There's also, I did quite a few shows at the Poetry Cafe in the autumn of 2014. There was also one called Halloween with a Hairy Scary Shy Yeti. Friday the 31st of October, I actually got the Halloween spot, 2014. I think I was just reading scary poems or bizarre poems. Then I was doing my blog, and I still do my blog, but it's slightly changed emphasis to the podcast. I used to sort of interview myself about the writing projects I was doing, ask myself questions and then answer them, sort of talking about what I was working on at the moment, new stuff, old stuff, the novels that maybe I was writing, because I was also working on The Mouse of Commons and The Beast of Friends around the same time. So, all of this was juggled with having a full-time job as well. So, and I replicated the 7th of those interviews in Mugshots in the back of the book. Then there's a few internet links from the time. I'm not sure if they're all still valid, but some of them still are. Anyway, and then there's some information about me and some information about the poetry books that I have released over the years, and that's it really. That's Mugshots. So I think now's a good time for me to start sharing some of the poems with you. Let's play some music. When we come back, I'll dive into Mugshots, share with you some of the verse from the collection. All right, back in a moment. One now that I wasn't intending to read, but it's inspired by a friend of mine called Anthony, who was my boyfriend for about a year. around the time that I wrote this book. In fact, the photo on the cover of the book was, well, I think it was probably taken by him. It was only taken in his house. Unfortunately, Anthony passed away in November. Although we only went out for a year, we were friends for almost 20 years. Although didn't see a lot of each other in the last 10 years, but we always kept in touch by text and talked about music and Doctor Who and cats and things. And I wrote this poem about him. One of his nicknames was Specky or Specky Ant, or at least it was for some of our mutual friends. And I remember saying I'd write a poem, which I wouldn't say was one of my best, but never mind. It does seem fitting to read it. And it's called The Ballad of Specky Ant, or How Specky Ant Became Cool. Specky Ant wore spectacles, such a poor short-sighted mite, left alone to guard the ant hill, back home alone each Friday night. He embraced his duties bravely, though he knew not what might face. Hoped and prayed he'd not be trodden on, nor swallowed without trace. Specs was seen as rather bookish, not the wild night-clubbing sort. Big collared shirts and flary trousers, the most modern togs he'd ever bought. Some had teased him for his lifestyle, some had muttered, "What a fool!" But Specky Ant, he knew far better, he'd soon be the one most cool. Without second thought they left him, for he seemed quite content to stay. None heard him make objections, since they'd all hurried out to play. Yes, they thought he was a quiet ant, oh, but they knew not what went on there at the ant-hill Friday nights, with all the others gone. 'Cause it was then that all the other specky ants, all specky grubs and specky fleas, yes, every tiny specky woodlouse, all short-sighted bumblebees, all those who needed glasses to see their plans unfurled, with ambitions to be mighty, risen up to rule the insect world. No space for clearly sighted crawlies, only folk who could not see. This way they'd get revenge, and they would do it too with glee. That very day, made ready, yes, they unleashed their specky war. They had one target focused, and they gave those guys what for. The bombs and missiles showered down, yes, they exploded in the night. They burnt the insect disco down and killed everyone outright. The specky army all applauded, oh how the party poppers blew. Specky Ant was now the leader, insect minorities won through. Oh, there were those who used to tease him, but now it's they who look the fool. The last and only ant survivor, hence now the only one who's cool. Oh. Well, that's for Anthony. Passed away far too young, he was only 54. Anyway, that's my poem for Anthony. When I started recording this episode, we didn't even know he was ill, so anyway, moving on. Now, I'm not sure what to think about this poem. It was sort of meant to be a bit like a Pam Ayres poem. Well, one of her famous poems is I Wish I Looked After My Teeth, which is sort of like, quite sort of, I wish I'd realised that I should have looked after my teeth and all that sort of thing. Well, this one's called I Am Never Invited to Orgies, which is supposed to be a sort of about a very middle-class person kind of going, why don't people invite me to these exciting parties? Which is kind of, what the poem is meant to be about, but anyway. I am never invited to orgies. I am never invited to orgies. Don't I quite look the type, am I mocked? I've always quite fancied wife-swapping, though my sinuses are quite badly blocked. I think maybe I come over too quiet, and seems that no one expects it of me, but I believe I'd enjoy a nice orgy, or to begin with a cuddle for 3. I am never invited to orgies. It would seem I'm not that kind of girl, but the stories I've heard seem alluring, and they leave my poor mind in a whirl. I would like to succumb to a sauna, something crazy, mixed bathing, but I no longer just wish to imagine. Grab my bus pass and off I shall go. But I'm never invited to orgies. Left to cook, wash and clean back at home. A loyal Mothers' Union member, I would relish the chance now to roam. I would thrive on some nice slap and tickle. I'd enjoy a quick roll in the hay. I'd enjoy hanging out in a brothel to find out just how much punters might pay. I am never invited to orgies. Perhaps my poor fashion sense wrote me off. Holy cardies, odd slippers and pinnies are maybe clothes at which swingers might scoff. I'm in danger of becoming quite frisky. Oh, natural, in a wood by a lake. Yes, I dearly adore a quick fumble. Need the dough really hard when I bake. Still, I'm never invited to orgies. My poor husband, he turns a blind eye. So what if the man is a bishop? At least the old devil could try. I'm frustrated and sexually challenged. I'm quite sadly lacking a squeeze. So I've put in my letter to Santa. Won't you fix me an orgy soon, please? No, I'm never invited to orgies. One day soon I will spread out my wings. One day soon be more naughty than nicey and do some quite inappropriate things. So I've been down Ann Summers preparing. I will send out the invites today. Yes, I will throw soon my very own orgy, and you bet I shall cause an affray. I kind of like the idea of it's those quiet people who you really need to pay attention to. This poem is about the inner child. It's called I'm Getting My Inner Child Adopted. I'm sending my inner child off for adoption. I know that sounds quite OTT, but one of us has to do something. Someone's got to leave and not me. My inner child's out of hand. He's a nightmare. He's misbehaving and causing me strife. He's chucked out his toys in a tantrum, and he's scolded me, go get a life. Then he stomped his 2 feet, making faces, made a move, and then nibbled my knee. Oh, he was suddenly sick on the carpet, then decided, now this minute, that he needed to pee. He screamed and he pulled at my goatee. He rolled round and round on the floor, but I just shook my head and I left him, but the blighter came right back for more. Then he leapt at me, biting my earlobe. Next he prodded me twice in the eye. I was oh so aware what would happen. My inner child would rejoice should I die. I clobbered the sod with a saucepan. He hit back with a bloody great spade, limping off to our own special corners to address any headway we'd made. Later on, when the love of my life came a-calling, inner child reappeared acting gross. He proceeded to eat several goldfish, just as me and my love snuggled close. Inner child was enraged, started bawling. I was tempted to fill him with lead. Instead we played peekaboo for an hour, and he fell off to sleep in our bed. Well, my sweetheart looked awfully nervous, and looked quite alarmed by our spat. But the next day she fled without warning, or because of my mad inner brat. Soon after, I sent my inner child off for adoption. I didn't flinch, tied and bound, off he went. It was time to move onwards and upwards, to adapt to my new inner gent. I didn't have to wait long for these changes. My new self, he arrived the next day. Very soon, he'd eloped with my girlfriend. Alas, didn't get any say. Now my inner man's gone for adoption. Now I'm left here with nothing inside. Just beware that your id don't turn nasty, 'cause it's too late to complain once you've died. This one's called Indoor Fireworks. Indoor fireworks, please take care. Don't set fire to your hair. Don't set fire to the cat. I guarantee it won't like that. Stand back 3 paces, or was it 4? Hide the kids behind the door. That Catherine wheel has hidden tricks. Stand back 5 paces, or was it 6? Don't singe the carpet nor light the dog. The living room's now full of fog. Just set the fuse, then jump right back. They're heading skyward with a crack. Up through the ceiling, it's not so bad. The indoor display, but where is Dad? Oh my, he caught a whizzer in his pocket, and now shot up still with the rocket. Up, away that frantic night. Upon its flame, Dad caught a light. The sky lit up, Dad shot on through. Exploded then. We all went, ooh. I've never done a firework episode of the podcast. I think it's generally because I don't go to firework displays anymore. But I'd love to do an episode set at a firework party, but I'm sure I can come up with a story. I just need the sound effects, and yeah, maybe it would be nice to record on location, but Well, we'll see. This one's called Ingrid Bergman's Nose. Don't ask me why. Well, anyway. Some of the names of these people you'll recognise. Some of these people you won't recognise. All of them were famous at one stage, but maybe some of them are a bit UK sort of famous. She's got Ingrid Bergman's nose, Bridget Bardot's little toe, the laugh of army-era Elvis and the eyes of Matt Monroe, the flick-back hair of Farrah Fawcett, the rugged looks of Steve McQueen, the puckered lips of Ronnie Corbett and the chin of Jimmy Dean. She has the dark, demented manner of Cell Block H's wicked freak. Also the ankles of a Bond girl and a porn star's knowing shriek. She has the fashion sense of Paddington and the heart of Yogi Bear, the facial hair of Adolf Hitler and the singing voice of Cher. She's got Madonna's full libido, Kylie's cute but tiny size. She's also got the short, fat, hairy legs of Ernie Wise. Oh, she may have the brains of Garfield, the piano skills of Elton John, but there's one question now that's begging, one fact I'm not quite clear upon. She is sure one twisted muddle, though till now we've cut her slack. She may have Ingrid Bergman's nose and all, but when's she going to give 'em back? There we go. That's just ridiculous. This one's called In Praise of Monsters. Let me state that mostly monsters are quite misunderstood. Let me stand up for such beasties. They've a right. Is it wrong to stake a vamp when he's allergic to the wood? Don't discriminate just because they kill at night. You should get out and hug a zombie. It is really quite a blast. Don't try and shoot it in the head or up its nose. Its vocab may seem low, and yet its need to love is fast. Recruit some boyfriends, not just filthy rotten foes. You could do worse than bag a werewolf, gently ruffle up its fur. They can be playful pals and really quite a howl. They will lick you if you're partial, and such things do not deter. But don't do tongues because their breath is really foul. There's a cute go-getting Gorgon who I think you ought to meet, although her snake can be a nuisance with its stare. She's a lovely little mover if you don't tread on her feet. She may seem stony, but you'll love it in her lair. You haven't lived until you've dated with a giant lizard man, but it may tickle if they have a wayward tash. They are very good at hugging and they feed you really well, but soon forget you, then they'll dump you in the trash. So just remember, stand up for those poor creatures because you know they've got a right. Go on and change a blinkered mind. You know you could. Make a banner, lead a band. Those lovely monsters aren't so bad. They are cuddly little tykes, misunderstood. This one's called In Talks with the Cat. I'm in talks with the cat. I'm putting in my bid. He has had a better offer. At least I assume he surely did. I'm a fool, and yes, I know it. We've been together several years. Seems that all my food and loving's come to nothing. There's been tears. He's been offered better bedding, nicer treatment, tasty food. Well, he got fussed like Major Royalty, his whole attitude just rude. I'm in talks with the cat. I'm preparing my move. Seems it comes down to purrs, and I've something to prove. He wants to sit down at dinner, eat with both knife and fork, and claims as of Monday on his hind legs shall walk. Is he really that shallow? I'd miss him, all his flaws. He's got a chip on his shoulder, became too big for his paws. I'm in talks with the cat. There's a stalemate been reached. He is full of contempt, wants to get me impeached. Should I agree to his terms? This is causing concern. Who put him up to these things? I'm eager to learn. How could he treat me like this? My cat stopped acting nice. Who made him act in this way? Need I ask? Bloody mice. I'm in talks with the cat. I've considered the odds. The mice taught him bad tricks. Now they're acting like gods. Well, I don't meet their demands. They can't just do as they like. I will not be blackmailed, so Kitty, you can go take a hike. The mists of confusion are clearing. Yes, I've come through the fog. It's a faithful friend I require, so I'll go buy a dog. This one's called Keep On Getting It Wrong. Do you keep on getting the wrong girl? Do you keep on following the wrong course? The odds are there in your favour, and yet you keep on backing the wrong horse. Every time you've got your heart set on some good luck, do you keep on getting the dud wish? Do you keep on catching the old boot? Ah, heck, never hook on the right fish. Do you keep on meeting the wrong man? Do you keep on hearing the wrong voice? There are loads of nice men that would date you. You keep on making the wrong choice. Do you keep on flipping the wrong coin? Does it seem you're always picking the bad card? Every time you are hoping for wise words, seems the price you are paying comes too hard. Do you keep on getting the wrong gal? Do you keep on meeting the wrong guy? Don't it just make you want to go spit chips? A weaker person than you, they would just cry. When you need to be there at the right time, seems you're always knee-deep in the wrong snow. When all you wanted to be was to be right, life can't help but deliver a cruel blow. Do you feel like you've woken up on the wrong day? There's always something around that you must prove. Do you never succeed on your first try? Once again it would seem made the wrong move. You try really hard but always fall short. You toss and you turn and you can't rest. Hey, we've all got a talent there someplace. Perhaps being wrong's what you do best. I think that's one of my favourites from this collection. You know, when you go back to them, sometimes you think, yeah, I know why I don't read this one very often, or I was happy at the time for it to go in the book, but Keep On Getting It Wrong. I can't see anything I'd change about that. I'd be very happy if I wrote that one today. This next one was inspired by hearing people at Doctor Who conventions, like guests at Doctor Who conventions, saying that when they do these celebrity dinners, some of them would say to the people on the table, okay, right, we're going to laugh really loudly at this point because we want the other tables to think that this table is the best table. This is the table where all the fun is happening. And so this is called Let's Be on the Noisy Table, Laughter in a Sad Place. Let's be on the noisy table. Let's be the one having the most fun. This place has bad memories for me. I was betrayed here. But let's laugh about it, because laughing might cancel things out. New happiness might just erase any lingering sadness. It's time to build new and different memories as of now. So let's do it. Laugh about it. Everything's great now, isn't it? Everything's fine. Fantastic. It's all fantastic. Let's make this the noisy table. Let's be the one here having the most fun. The more I look across the room, the more I see the enemy. The more I fancy that all my exes have gathered here together, just to sit in this place and stare to spite me, just to laugh and have more fun than we are, just to upset me. But they won't, oh no, so let's do it, let's force it out, every last chuckle. If we're laughing louder than they are, then we've won, and winning is everything, it's everything. Yes, let's be on the noisy table. Let's have some fun. Everything's fine, I tell you. Everything's fantastic. It's all fantastic. Next one's called Little Ben. That's the name of a clock. Well, I think it's still there. It stands on a road crossing near Victoria Station. It's supposed to be the mini version of Big Ben. It's called Little Ben. You should find out about it on Wikipedia. I think it vanished for a little while whilst they renovated it. But, well, it was back there when I last worked in Victoria. Little Ben. No one remembers Little Ben. No one hears him chime. They only care about his brother, though Little Ben still knows the time. They don't notice as they're passing, hearing neither ticks nor tocks. He's just another faceless timepiece, just one of many other clocks. No one remembers little Ben, no one hears him bong. He does his best to mark the hour, but his boom is far from strong. He grits his cogs when people tease him, says he's a bonsai of his bro. New Year, no one cares when he strikes midnight, and no one's there to hear his show. No one remembers little Ben. Shame no one stops to listen when he strikes. Sometimes drunks will take a leak on him, which isn't something that he likes. Little Ben's a gem to treasure. Here, big means bad, it sure applies. His larger brother's far too mainstream. Yes, sometimes small's a nicer size. The 2 or 3 years I went up to Westminster for New Year's Eve, I can never understand why people went to Trafalgar Square, because you couldn't really see the clock. It made much more sense to stand by Big Ben and see the time, which is what we did. And the first year we did it, we were one of the few people who were standing there. The next year we did it a few years later. It was a very popular location. And then after 2000, I think all the eyes turned to the Thames and firework displays, which before then had never been a thing. New Year in London has definitely sort of got more commercial. I think they charge now. Not like it was back in the 90s. I don't think Little Ben actually bongs or makes any noise whatsoever, but I like the idea that he did, at least for this poem. In a way, I feel it's a shame we didn't go and spend New Year by Little Ben, but never mind. It was quite a few years before I discovered that Little Ben was actually its name, rather than just being a clock, a random clock. This one's called Look, I'm No Scrooge. Look, I'm no Scrooge, come share my wine, but a glass or 3, not 8 or 9. A Christmas tip, you grab the till. Always go too far, overtake goodwill. Our grand display, our tinselled tree, with baubles buffed, please come and see. Except you can't just look, no, you have to touch. When you take a liberty, you take far too much. Look, I'm no Scrooge, but you're far, far worse. The moths gave up living in your empty purse. It's better to give than to receive, though I doubt that's something you believe. You make folk cross, we're always wary. Not a budding Santa Claus, nor the Christmas fairy. You're more the party pig down there, snaffling pies. Crumb-covered, greasy fingers over everything. It's no surprise. Look, I'm no Scrooge, don't you turn away. You're no one's favourite uncle, more Reggie Cray. This year why not try something new? You'll eat your food, yes, all come to you. We'll drink your booze, act really grim, play Respectable by Mel and Kim. Swing from the roof on mistletoe. You might even like it, don't you know? You could be party king, yes, you could be huge. Turn the tables round, so now who's the Scrooge? This is a weird one. It's sort of inspired by the title of a 60s song by the Bee Gees, New York Mining Disaster. This is called Milton Keynes' Fashion Disaster, 1971. Have you seen my kipper tie, Mr. Jones? Back then I had it made, I used to have it all. In 17-inch platform heels, you'd see me striding tall. Back then I was in fashion, back then I had good taste. Tie-dye shirts and big hair, back then a slimmer waist. Oh, way back in the 70s, I had a new look every day, from mullet to Mohican, spiky green when now it's grey. I was the first punk rocker round here, how the locals used to gape, as I strode about in bin bags, held fast with sellotape. I was a figure folk looked up to, mainly because I still wore heels. I liked exotic travel, and I bought a set of wheels, wore a flashy pair of roller boots, and I made fast getaways, though could never find the brake pad and always nursed my head for days. I was a rebel who loved disco, but I kept that under wraps. No one knew that underneath my drain pipes I was wearing sequined chaps. As I danced I sometimes knitted, Mohican hairdo hoods for free, my fashion sense a dither, as I boogied aimlessly. When I consider my appearance now, alas I feel cut down to size. Yes, I looked so very freaky in that glam rock punk disguise. Back then I thought I had it made, like some drag queen Christmas tree, decked out proudly for the night. Back then, yup, that was me. Back then, what awful fashions. Back then my style was lame, kipper ties and caftans. Oh, back when I really had no shame. I changed the last line of that. Originally it was kipper ties and caftans, so let me hide my head in shame. I thought, the narrator should be proud of looking weird. I never really had any dreadful fashion disasters. I mean, I was never cool, but I pretty much wore my school trousers, whether I was in school or not, but We didn't really wear jeans, and the fashion trend when I was older was just jeans and t-shirt anyway, so I don't have that many photos. Obviously I look younger. I don't really generally have weird hairdos or anything like that. This one's called My Catwalk. Sort of the idea of living your life like you're a fashion model, even when you're working in the office. My catwalk. I plug in my ears as I fly off to work, don my new pack-a-mac and a scarf, with a head full of tunes and my mind in Milan. See me wave at the traffic and laugh. As I sway to the beat, no, I won't walk in gum, no, I won't step in burgers or sick. The street is my catwalk and I am the star. Why do you say, am I taking the mick? My fingers snap at the traffic lights. I'm looking cool as I skip to the groove. You civilians just stare in awe. I am hip and I've nothing to prove. I'm a style icon, I'm a sex kitten. I've X Factor and you have none. Every street's my catwalk and I'm the star. Why'd you say, did I mean that in fun? Yes, I'm turning heads once I get into work. I lead the way, I do as I dare. My hot pants tight as I strut to the beat. I'm the only one dressed like I care. The photocopier is my disco light, in my tank top, exposing my chest. The office is my catwalk, and I am the star. What do you mean? Did I say that in jest? Do you find my glamour enticing? Here in the office desire it mounts. I've been asked to autograph this invoice, then I'll send it on up to accounts. I'm in paradise in the stationery cupboard. There I dance, overdose on the bliss. The office floor is my catwalk, and I am the star. What do you mean, am I taking the piss? After work I return to my homestead, too exhausted to dance, and it shows. Still I toss and I turn whilst I'm sleeping, dancing queen in my dreams, strike a pose. I was born so to dance, never ending. Did you listen and hear what I've said? The world is my catwalk, and I am the star. What do you mean I'm not right in the head? I mean, sometimes you just have to imagine life's a little bit more glamorous than it actually is. You know, that the commute can be so boring if you don't try and add a little fantasy to it. The next one's called My Imaginary Friend. Yeah, talking about fantasy. My imaginary friend did all I asked her, took every blame. My imaginary friend made plans for me, looked out for me, and in return I made my intentions clear through her. No one ever got the better of me, bullied me, cheated me. My imaginary friend struck out at them before they had a chance. Once when my little brother had screamed all night in his crib, my imaginary friend waited till he was asleep and then crept into his bedroom. My friend took a pillow and gently, very slowly, she placed it over my brother's nose and mouth and pressed down really hard. And then Mummy came in and found my friend. And then Daddy came in and made her go back to bed. And my friend was very cross. At first I thought they would blame me, but instead they tried to send her away. But by then my friend knew it was war and that she had a fight on her hands. And so that night when I was at Brownie's, she snuck back home. She went into the garage, took petrol, lit a match and burned our house to the ground. They had made her so very cross. Mummy and Daddy and my little baby brother were all inside at the time. They had made me so very cross. She wouldn't let them escape, and so they slipped away, for they had made us so very cross. But then, soon after that day, she left me. The police found me and the doctors took me to a strange house full of children. Do you know what the funny thing was? Each and every one of them had a friend of their own, but now I was the only one without company. Each night I prayed, but still my girl did not return, until one night I had a dream. In my dream I heard her, and she told me that it was okay to make new friends. A few weeks later, one of the children at the strange house had to leave there suddenly. When she went, she left without taking her companion. So now I have a new friend, and I'm no longer alone. This friend is different and funny and very, very clever, but I can see that once this one gets started, she's going to be a real troublemaker. Cats should wear mufflers. Cats should wear mufflers or a carefully placed bow. They may be covered in fur, but they're naked below. Mammoths are woolly, yet extinct now you'll find. Everywhere in the wood there's a bear's bear behind. Fireflies should dress decent, flying nude in the night, illuminating their wobbly bits. No, it's just not polite. Yes, giraffes will walk tall, yet refuse to wear suits. Guinea fowl love to flaunt it, as do rude bandicoots. Flamingos and peacocks, or the birds on the heath, hidden under their plumage, go commando beneath. Bunnies ought to wear jodhpurs or a gay patterned frock. An indiscreet beaver still has the power to shock. Dogs should be brought up to bark from their hearts. If they wore dungarees, they would not lick their parts. Gibbons like to swing free, gators won't wear a tie. Once they're safe in their dens, foxes let the fur fly. Lizards shed off their scales, fish will pout with their lips. Some get coated in batter and are served up with chips. Wildlife all should wear mufflers, and this surely they know. Whether long-haired or short, they're all nudists below. Change in the Seasons, verse 1. I remember the first panic of the chill. September mornings long ago. There was something in the air, out in the garden, out on the streets. Preparing for change. A primal shift, some race memory. A movement invisible to the eye. Summer was surely losing its slow battle to autumn. The trees still green, not a leaf yet brown. But the fight was already decided, had been fought and lost. The inevitable damage made known within weeks. Dark afternoons would soon be on their way. Back then I stood in the park, shady under the leafy cover of a blue-skied afternoon, smug because summer appeared to be holding on, quietly rejoicing such late shorts and t-shirt weather. I dabbed my brow free of perspiration, and yet, then, just for a second, it was upon me. Autumn, running a cold finger across my senses. Just a whisper, then gone. I was left, head turning, trying to catch sight of what had never been. I could no longer enjoy the day, now I knew, of summer's swift demise, summer's one last brief respite. A change in the seasons, verse 2. There comes a change in the seasons. Nothing follows the old set patterns anymore. These last few years, the forces of nature have conspired against us. Spring wouldn't let summer go and kept sulking, yapping at its coattails and bursting into April showers in mid-June. Winter got jealous and decided to show up in July. Autumn couldn't wait and arrived for action in early August. The four of them have been squabbling. They've forgotten their timetables. They're making us pay for a life of routine. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, no more. Now there's a flood to wash away the picnickers, drab grey days when there should be shine. And the festive season hasn't looked like a Christmas card in years. Soon the sun ain't going to shine anymore. The Walker brothers predicted it, and when it happens they'll all nod wisely and say, "Told you so." And then all the leaders, the prime ministers and presidents, will sit down to reflect on the evidence, musing over these seasonal squabbles. They will frown and sigh, and then they'll stand up, make a speech, and blame somebody else. And maybe, would it really be such a surprise, maybe they'll blame one of us, or fruit bats, or leaves on the line, or the wrong kind of snow, except that snow is so last millennium. Still, soon we're all going to be too busy building arks to waste any more time just talking about it. Cub up a tree. Little cub stuck up a tree, climbed so high to chase a bee. Been there some time, how'd he survive? Because he'd found a tasty hive. Oh, those bees were cross, how they wished him gone. But he ate them up. Yes, everyone. The kind townsfolk tried to help him free, but he growled a bit and aimed his wee. That put them off, hey, that dirty bear. Yet they passed each day to stand and stare. Still had his paw stuck, could not get down. His baby fur turned chocolate brown. Still slurped his honey, admired the view. Each day it seemed he grew and grew. The townsfolk tried once more to help him out, but he growled a bit and flung his poo about. That put them off, that filthy bear. Yet he still came by each day to stand and stare, whilst big little cub, now growing wide, did fear he'd fall but couldn't hide. Oh, how the branches creaked, it was time to flee. In his panic his swollen paw came free. Snap, crack, the branch no longer funny. Big little cub fell, farewell to honey. But what lucky chance, cub landed safe upon the crowd. He squashed them dead, still those unlucky locals they did him proud. Big cub alive, the townsfolk all deceased, but they smelt rather good to cub. Oh, what a splendid feast. Do you believe in the power of Europop? Do you believe in the power of Europop? Do you believe in a force that heals? A force that shakes you up, revives you, may even serve you regular meals? Yes, it's a spirit makes you boogie. Yes, I'm pretty sure you'll want to dance. Or failing that, it will enthrall you until you're lost and in a trance. Want to sway really manic? Have a really good bop? Do you believe in the power of Europop? Credit cards set on stun and now it's time to go shop. We all believe in the power of Europop. Do you believe in the power of Europop? Oh, it's a force that moves your feet. Yes, it'll give you natural rhythm, a cure for flu in every beat. It'll make you shake your trousers, fill your legs with crazy jig. Then you'll soon strike a pose demented in a multicoloured wig. Go on, dance really frantic till you're going to drop. Do you believe in the power of Europop? Climbing up off the bottom, now you're right at the top. We all believe in the power of Europop. Do you believe in the power of Europop? In Girls Aloud or Britney Spears, in Shocking Blue or Strawberry Switchblade, pure pop pleasure for your ears. There are no rules to what you're playing, you'll find a vibe to blow your mind. So just spin that record, Madam DJ, whatever cheesy pop you find. I'm not a one-hit wonder or has-been flop. Do you believe in the power of Europop? Strained myself on the dance floor, now I need an op. We all believe in the power of Europop. Do you believe in the power of Europop? You'll never bottle it to sell. No, it doesn't have a colour, nor an odour you can smell. It is a body without organs, it is a band-aid for the soul. It is an army made for lovers, an Alcazar, a perfect goal. I do believe in the power, now you'll never stop. Yes, we all believe in the power of Europop. So true, so true. This one's called Full Fat Smile. She's got a full fat smile. It's a wide and brimming joy. She's got a full fat smile. Yes, she seems the real McCoy. She's got a full fat smile. It's not reduced or calorie free. She's got a full fat smile. Good Lord, she's directing it at me. I love her full fat smile. And this time I took my bow. I love her full fat smile, but she wants me here and now. Oh, such a full fat smile. Yes, she's put me in a spin. Oh, such a full fat smile. Oh boy, perhaps she's even got a twin. This is probably the sister poem or brother poem to the Europop poem. Glitterball, a Europop song without a tune. This just shows that, for a long time I've been wanting to do write lyrics, but I didn't have any music. But now with Udio and other AI tools, I'm able to have a go. Anyway, I haven't tried these ones. Probably ought to. Glitterball. Wanna ride with me in my glitterball? Wanna ride with me? Feel like you're rich. Wanna ride with me in my glitterball? It's a hoot, also terribly kitsch. Will you fly with me to a land in the stars? Hear the band playing pop, nothing punky. See the sexy guys there in their large motor cars. All the ladies so tall, almost hunky. Won't you come with me, love? We could drift far away. Are you nervous? Your hands, they feel damp. Hold me tight as we go. I'll ensure you're okay. On my island so terribly camp. Wanna ride with me in my glitterball? Wanna ride with me? Feel really cool. Wanna ride with me in my glitterball? I'm your man, just a love-stricken fool. Will you dream with me in my special place? May I dine you on wildest cuisine? My clothes, they are made from the finest of lace. Let me dress like a king or a queen. Do you like my boots? They are silver white. Don't I have quite a shapely behind? Won't you dance with me now on this fabulous night? Won't you speak to me using your mind? Wanna ride with me in my glitterball? Wanna ride with me? You're such an ace. Wanna ride with me in my glitterball? Keep on going till far out of space. Will you come with me to the burger bar? You can get sticky chicken and pop. If I behave, will you show me your bra? Then we'll go down the club for a bop. Won't you sleep with me, love? Oh, go on, pretty please. Yes, come over for JD and Coke. Oh, don't try to escape. Come and give me a squeeze. Kiss me quick. Do you mind if I smoke? Wanna ride with me in my clapped-out van? Wanna ride with me without any shame? Wanna ride with me in my clapped-out van? We're both skint. Let's go back on the game. Oh, baby, when you ride with me in my glitterball, I'm going to make you feel such a princess. Oh, honey, together with me in our glitterball. Once you're done, might I try on your dress? Let's ride our glitterball to far Japan. Ride with me with your hands on your hips. Want to ride with me in my clapped-out van? If you like, fancy burgers and chips. You're going to come ride? My glitterball's waiting. Very weird. Yes, that's sort of a clash between a Europop song and the reality of not having any money whilst trying to be glamorous at the same time. I've got things walking over my book. Ow. A flying ant or something. And a little baby spider. Good to talk. I picked up on the first ring when the phone began its call, just in case it was an invite out to tea. Darling, came a frantic voice. Who is that? I replied. Who do you think it is? She sobbed. My dear, it's me. Oh, sorry, I responded, but before I could say another word, she was spinning me a tale of tragic woe. I put my foot down, she exploded. Now he knows I've had enough. Said he's got to pack his bags and simply go. Oh, good, I almost muttered, but she was off again at speed. So much to say she couldn't wait to get it said. I told him he's just useless and a dirty, rotten cheat, that I didn't wish him well, just wished him dead. What exactly did he do, though? I heard myself blurt out. Then with that she gave a long and mighty sigh. She almost seemed a tad uncertain. He never does the washing up. He never cleans his socks. And he wears a kipper tie. Any more? I asked her duly. So she had a little think. And she came up with some other things did irk. He picks his nose, he burns the toast, won't feed the cat, he'll never work. Again I nodded. Let's be clear, though. He hasn't been unfaithful, he hasn't killed someone, and he hasn't flushed the budgie down the loo. Well, no, she then admitted. But he likes singing in the bath, and his sense of humour verges on the blue. So is that all? I asked her gently. There wasn't much else she could recall. Yet her voice seemed kind of sad, full of regret. Do you think he might forgive me? She cried then, suddenly. Do you think he might forgive me, then forget? I know I'm hard to live with. I know I drive him mad. She sobbed now as she was listing all her woes. I'm vain, insanely jealous, and I love to juggle carp. What's more, I also like to bite my baby toes. I sighed, and then I told her, I know your husband really cares, and I know he's sorry too, but you need to try real hard to leave things be. She promised that she would, and so I've moved back in again. Her ever-suffering husband, yup, that's me. That's a silly, strange one. Sort of an attempt to tell a story with a little twist. This one's called Hated. Hated for his poor taste in ties. Hated for her flared pantaloons. For not having a sense of humour. Hated for that unfashionable mullet. For combing over the baldy bits. For watching too much crap on television. Hated for his dislike of spam. For turning her nose up at rice pudding. Killed because she liked to do the polka. Because he tried to learn to fly. Hated because she tried to see through walls. Ridiculous, unreasonable, irrational hate. It would never happen. Hated for a radical stance, for his intelligence. Despised for his beliefs. Butchered for the colour of her skin. Killed for showing affection. For holding his boyfriend. For kissing her girlfriend in public. Ridiculous, unreasonable, irrational hate. It could never happen. It could never happen, yet it does. And it has. And it just did. Ridiculous, unreasonable, irrational, yet true. This one's called I Can't Bear the End, and in brackets, biographical work. I just can't bear the end of biographical work, for they just crack me up, make me sob, go berserk. And I can't bear to hear how things all went to pot, how folk once were successful, though alas they were not, how the smiles once were bright, accolades from afar, until one day mown down by a cross-dressing czar. Death by a robotic beastie or a mean billy goat. Badly mauled by a field mouse, they always go for the throat. Oh, I flick through the pages, I go speeding on through, but still slow near the end, because it simply won't do. No, I can't bear to read of those sad later years, so I stop when they're happy and neither dead nor in tears. No, I can't bear the end of biographical tome, all distraught on the sofa when I'm reading at home. I remember that one definitely was based on, well, I think I was reading Kenneth Williams' diaries, and then when it got towards the end, they were just too sad, and I kind of never finished them. But not every autobiography or biography ends sadly. I mean, some don't get to the end of the person's life. It just depends on how they're written. one's called Never at Home. She's never at home, out again on the go, singing at high-class soirees. She's always on show. Her best frock really special, that new hairdo, how nice. Looks $1 million despite the sex and the vice. She is never at home, see, well, not in a while. Last seen wrestling sailors, she soon skipped down the aisle. What a tabloid charade, what a farce wedding day, caught modelling the best man's genitalia in clay. No, never at home, often exposed to the press. Just like her cleavage, which excites nonetheless. Last seen with a star of an age that may shock. She trips off to the shows in a basque body sock. She is never at home, mostly lives from a case. Another ex-it girl, but for today she's a face. She's not to be pitied. There's still new tricks to learn. She'll pay any price for fame's tide not to turn. She's never at home, no, engaged yet again. She's bought shares in religion, now she's given up men. She's releasing an album, she's been writing a book. Strings together the smut, quick, let's all sneak a look. She is never at home, never out of the news. She has little to say, though they still print her views. Her public are fickle, replaced in a trice. She might soon be forgot, should she fail to entice. She is never at home, and the rumours persist. Should she ever stop still, she may cease to exist. This one's called Never Steal Another Man's Rhubarb. Never steal another man's rhubarb, never fake a faint nor swoon, for you may find yourself molested by an ape or large baboon. Never tickle a turtle's toenails, no, never bushwhack a canoe, never paint a panda purple, nor thieve its prized bamboo. Never dangle a donkey's carrots in a pot of quick cement. The beastie might get panicked, whilst the veg will end up bent. Never mince the words of strangers, never hang them on a line. If you sharpen your machete, then your kids will never whine. Never cremate your maiden uncle, never ask him home for tea, never join a roller disco until they let you in for free. Never play a striptease cribbage in a wardrobe made of cheese, for you'll never get the smell out and it'll only make you sneeze. Never ride a rogue fish finger, never let it toss you loose. It will try to snap your head off and drag you back to its caboose. Never try to hug a phoenix, no, not even if you're cold. Never flirt with sleepy badgers, they won't do a thing they're told. Never trap a hound dog's ego, nor pursue a pussy's purr. Never wash your hair with acid, unless you want to shed your fur. No, never steal another's rhubarb, for it may cause a right to do. Yes, if you stole some fella's rhubarb, if I were you, then I would sue. I think that phrase comes from a film, but it's an expression that we used to say quite a lot with a particular group of friends in the early 90s. Yes, apparently I wrote a lot of that on a bus. I used to write a lot when I was travelling about, commuting. Apparently it comes from Tim Burton's Batman, but it was never rub another man's rhubarb, which was meant to mean don't steal another man's girlfriend. But anyway, this one's called The Oldest Goth in Town. Old gothic girl in lime green flares, trying out her long hard stairs. More ugly duckling than a swan, still living with her L-plates on. She's popping pills, she's full of hate. She's getting on for 38. Still working on that Oxfam chic. Wears dead man's boots, it's quite a cheek. She won't eat beef, fish, pork or lamb. Her tongue stud out, don't give a damn. It's no big thing, we've all had those. She's pierced her navel, nips and nose. Old tattoos lost beneath her shirt. Of course, pretended that it never hurt. Old goth, so full of talk, so broken-hearted, claims she's done it all, she's hardly started. Digs punk and thrash, funk metal rock. These days it's very hard to shock. Still paints her face a shade of grey. Would like a boyfriend who is gay. Gets on her soapbox, she's nothing new. Still shops around for whom to screw. She's in denial, backed by herself. A perpetual child upon the shelf. No, this old goth won't flip the page. Left teenage angst to a later age. She won't take advice, the sins of pride. She'll never see the funny side. Ancient adolescent rebel, turned 43. It's midlife crisis next. She'll see. I don't know. Poor goth. She should do whatever she likes. This one's called The One Left Behind. He was the one left her behind. Seems he wasn't going to stay. Like a child who'd found new toys, now he'd a different game to play. He never wondered if she'd fall apart, nor how she'd ever carry on. No, he didn't stop to worry. Caught a plane and he was gone. She was the one he'd left behind. But soon she made a brand new start, for there was no time there for moping, nor to maintain a broken heart. A brand new life with brand new friends. In moving on, she'd surely grown. She had it nicely, neatly planned, back from the moment that he'd flown. Meanwhile, his vanity considered that she couldn't bear to be without someone quite so handsome and as great and good as he. So full of ego, he presumed that, or perhaps had made the guess, that one day she tried to phone him, ask him back. A total mess. But no, once her guy absconded, life was left a nice clean slate, and she found it fun exploring with the rest of London left to date. Oh, she shrugged her sloping shoulders. There was no need to feel forlorn. She worked hard throughout the day, and then she partied till the dawn. Well, she never once did call him, feeling low he died one day, but she was no longer there to answer. By that time she'd moved away. Now he wished he'd never parted. He hadn't been the friend he should. He really wished they could have spoken, but 'twould have done them little good. She'd been left, yes, once abandoned, whilst he was out there getting laid. Now she was strong and independent, and loved the changes that she'd made. He knew he'd been a fool to lose her. She knew she'd been a fool quite blind. It was a bittersweet reversal. Now she'd moved on, left him behind. I like the woman in that one more than the goth girl. Although the goth girl, I think the goth girl should be having more fun. She seems the opposite of the girl in the next poem. This one's called The Only You There Is. You're the only you there is, you're the only you I know, with a certain special something, a kind of radioactive glow. Whoever raised you had good sense. You're too iconic to be moved. You're kooky, yet it suits you. No, you just cannot be improved. You're unique, a total one-off. Although you're getting pretty old, there is no one left there like you, alas, they never kept the mould. Still, you look good for such a veteran. I'd say you're almost kind of chic. Hey, perhaps they will restore you. After all, you must be verging on antique. I'm sure they'd deem you priceless if they put you up for sale. There'd be trouble if they lost you, if they put you in the mail. They should wrap you up in cotton wool just in case you get a bruise. 'Twould be a shame to spoil perfection now you've given up the booze. You're a treasure, irreplaceable. You are immune to being cloned. You'd look lovely on the mantelpiece, quite a pleasure to have owned. You're the only you worth having, all the rest aren't worth a damn. You're a real-life superhero, yes, any others are a sham. Yes, you're the only you I know of. You are the only you there is. You're a lighthouse in the dark, a fine champagne that's full of fizz. You're fabulous, terrific. Now you'll never go to seed. Not just the only you I know, but true, you are the only you I need. The next poem's called On the Evils of Kitten Tennis. Don't think I want to read that one. I mean, it's silly, but, yeah. This one's called Past His Sell-By Date. Oh my, he has reached his sell-by date. Now his share price is so low. He cannot give himself away. It seems that no one wants to know. He tried the info highway. There he tried to get a life. But even desperate folk and dullards would not agree to be his wife. Sadly, no one wants to hold him. No one wants to frisk his briefs. No one wants to know about him and neither share his weird beliefs. He knows he's doing nothing wrong. He is some super sexy catch. He thinks he's endlessly fantastic. Believes he's sure to find a match. It's a case of wishful thinking. All potential suitors turned and ran. But it's just him thinks he's a pin-up. No one else. Perhaps his gran. Oh my, he's reached his sell-by date. His shares are well below the scale. Any demand is non-existent. One presumes he's bound to fail. But no, he kept on going, tried persuasion with a gun, but it was only full of water, and yet it weighed about a ton. He was crushed beneath its weight, see, whilst the ladies all walked by. Well, I don't know what I did wrong, he sighed. Oh well, you've got to try. All out of good ideas then, lukewarm interest frozen cold. Now well past his expiry date with a drastic sign of mould. Bits kept dropping off him slowly, and yet still his hopes were high. But the only date approaching was the one on which he'd sadly die. Oh dear, he'd finally passed his sell-by date. Shares down as far as they could go. Was there a lover out there for him? Ah well, seems now we'll never know. This one's a bit of a... Well, I think it's taking lots of stereotypes about being gay and kind of saying, well, I would have said that people don't follow these sorts of stereotypes anymore, but then the other day I met somebody who's only a couple of years older than me, who, once they found I was gay, sort of said, oh, will you be watching Strictly tonight? No, why would I want to watch Strictly? Yeah, and there were a couple of other things she said, and I thought, my goodness, you really do think gay people are all the same. So this is called a pink pounding. I don't do pink. I don't like ABBA. IKEA's a yawn, there's nothing drabber. I don't wear highlights or a tight tank top, and I will not wax, see my belly flop. I don't do butch, I don't suit camp. I'm disputing all the rumours that I'm quite a tramp. I've got a hairy back, but I'm not a bear. I'm not in denial, nor in despair. I don't dig drugs and I don't go disco. To consider body piercing is for me a real no-no. I don't have pecs and I don't need tats. Nor do I want babies that are dogs or cats. Too pure to skulk in parks. Too posh to cruise. Would I country dance? No, I quite refuse. I don't get much joy out of random shags. I have girlfriends, but they're not fag hags. I don't use Polare, nor speak in tongues. I don't rate Callis nor Streisand's lungs. I don't feel outraged by lesbian clinches, but I will confirm, yup, 12 inches. I won't conform to type, nor I won't play fair. I won't be boxed up just to fit in somewhere. I'm not acting straight, but I'm just being me, and no bastard says which way I'll be. So I don't like pink, and here we go again. Remind me what I ever saw in men. I don't half moan, yes, go on now, sneer. One way or another, you're right, I'm queer. Of course I do like ABBA, and I do want a baby who's a cat. This one's called Please Shoot Me. Well, I've made out a list here, plotted to the nth degree. I'm expecting you to help me, yes, I trust you will agree. If I do the things I've listed, then there is no chance to fake. If I become that plain dementor, you must just shoot me. Oh, please, for goodness sake. If I wear old string vests or polite indoor shoes, play Dire Straits loud, or worse still, the blues. If you heard it's me that I've ever said, music's been crap since the Queen is dead. If I've become a snob to mainstream pop, please just punch me out, yes, then let me drop. If I've given up vodka for plain, simple tea, no, please, don't be kind, just shoot me, please shoot me. If I'm quite unaware when I'm looking moronic, if I'm wearing flares, and it's not ironic, if I'm on the beach, handkerchief on head, well, it's true, therefore, that I'm better dead. So just take out a gun from inside your purse and shoot me dead before I get much worse. Should I grin at shows shown on ITV? It's time to admit defeat. You must shoot me. Yes, please shoot me. If I start believing stuff that I've read in print, if folk laugh at me and I don't take the hint, if I'd like a fresh chance but never stand up to vote, if from old Heidi High episodes often quote, please don't spare me my pain, no, you must not be nice. See my private part squashed in a very large vice. If I've given up sex for green tea by the sea, you must teach me a lesson, just shoot me. Yes, please, you must shoot me. If I'm ever heard to say, please look young this year, feel free to torment me until I'm brimming with fear. Or shall I try to elope with some old cross-eyed floozy? Just pretend that we're strangers, please no, you mustn't excuse me. No, you mustn't forgive me, my odd middle age. You mustn't give me your pity, no, I'm quite past that stage. Should I utter advice, hand out wise words for free? Really, I don't know a thing, you must shoot me. Oh, please, shoot me. So please be sure you're reading my planning. You simply cannot disagree. Should I ever do such awful things, you must carry out my plea. Please dispatch me to my maker, there is no choice, no give, no take. If I become that super freaky, you must just shoot me. Quick, please, for goodness sake. I saw a typo in there. This one's called The Potatoes Have Eyes. Potatoes are evil, potatoes are bad, chuckling insanely. Yes, potatoes are mad. They cannot be trusted, a note for the wise. Yes, beware of those devils, for potatoes have eyes. They're hateful when boiled, they're spiteful when diced. They're just darn impure and they don't follow Christ. Bob up and down in the pot. They will plot your demise. With a cruel heart enjoy your unfortunate cries. Les tetos sont merde, or your soul they will claim. See them sizzle in pans, alas, will never be tame. They're psycho when sautéed, chaotic when chipped. They make homes underground and thrive down in the crypt. Try to choke you when baked. Any time they taste nice, any niceness is faked. They're at home in the soil, suffocation's their bag, and they don't do defeat nor accept a white flag. Their eyes are unblinking, they watch as you dream. They're sly when they're buttered, or blended with cream. Yes, they creep ever closer, really act pretty rash, 'cause they'll only be vanquished once they're turned into mash. Potatoes are evil, potatoes are bad.
Cackling insanely, potatoes are mad. They mustn't be eaten. A quick tip for the wise. Just keep away from those devils, 'cause all potatoes have eyes. I've had some arguments with potatoes over the years. Yeah. This one's called The Rain Makes Me Look Like I'm Crying. The only tears I'm crying are of joy and keeping a brave face now you're gone. I'm tough, I don't need you, I'll survive, I'll bounce back. I'm not a victim, I'm not a fool. I don't worry now I'm free, now I'm over you. Yes, I'm happy, it's the rain makes me look like I'm crying. Should I see you again? Then you won't see a flicker. I'll seem emotionless. Why, were you expecting some other reaction? Who do you think you are? Did you really think I'd allow myself to crumble just because you showed up? I don't think so. I wouldn't give you the satisfaction. If anything, you might see me smiling, that big wide smile of mine. Life is good, despite the storm above me, which the more I think of it is rather spoiling the effect. I've told you life's great. It's the rain that makes me look like I'm crying. Yeah, I'm acting detached. Yeah, I'm playing it cool. Long ago resolved to the situation. I've accepted it. I don't want things to change. I don't want you back. Do you really think I'm that weak? Don't you think I'm big enough to take it? That I'm not strong enough to grow, to move on? Did you think I'd show up and just say, take me back? Just because you've changed your mind about you and I? Well, sorry, you won't be hearing it from me because I'm happy, feeling fine. There'll be no tears from me, even on a sunny day, even when the skies are cloudless blue. Even then, it is still the rain that makes me look like I'm crying. This one's called Sexy Bernard. Sexy Bernard, bald yet cute, influenced by King Canute. Holding time back really strong. Here's you calling, won't be long. Sexy Bernard, be my guy. Kiss me cutie, don't ask why. Desperate daddy, be my man. I love to see your business plan. Sexy Bernard, keen to please. He'll do your dusting, creaky knees. Your heart's desire, yes, what a gem. M&S or S&M. Sexy Bernard, watch him play. Ex-starfucker, oh what a lay. Once quite a catch, the boys did flirt. Bedtime tales, he dished the dirt. Sexy Bernard, tufty beard, it's nice to nuzzle. Feels kinda weird. Growing old, still gets it on, but in the dark his back has gone. Sexy Bernard, foreboding cough. Not up to scratch, been pensioned off. Now who dispense love off the wrist? Sexy Bernard, now you're sadly missed. Well, I think that's about all we've got time for. I will probably share one or two more right at the end. But anyway, that's the best of Mugshots, or at least that's what I've got time for. And there are definitely some I like more than others, but it's bound to happen once you return to something you wrote 20 years ago. Although considering I was in my early 30s, I don't know. It's different when you look back to something you wrote in your teens and you think, oh, I don't like that. But when you go back to something you wrote in your 30s, shouldn't you have known better? I guess it's just down to taste. And also, you know, as you write, the more you write, you evolve. And anyway, it's bound to happen. Anyway, there is another collection that came out in 2005, Poetiquette. So we'll be turning to that one later in the year. That was the last of the 8 books I wrote when I was still publishing them very much by hand with a stapler or a ring binder or whatever. before I discovered Lulu. After Poetica, I was then able to use Lulu for every book I wrote after that. And I was able to go back to the old books and make them available in a more professional-looking form, like this book here. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed some of these poems. And, more soon. Plenty of episodes in the can. And don't go away. There'll be another 4 poems or so coming up. All right. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye. This one's called Swept Off My Feet. Sweep me, oh sweep me, yes, right off my feet. I want to be ravished and ravished to treat. Oh sweep me, do sweep me, though not with a broom. On White Charger or Bentley, do you think there'll be room? Do you think there'll be space enough? Wouldn't want me flagging down lifts, would you? I repeat, will there be room, honey, for you, me and my gifts? Room for all of these presents bought to placate me, it's true. If one posh car won't be enough, stud, then perhaps buy me 2. Oh, sweep me, please sweep me, but be gentle and nice. Use a cute furry bunny or a soft bed of rice. See, I'm very old-fashioned. I don't really care what you've risked. Not really. I just want to be stolen away, off my feet, lightly whisked. Treat me grand, I'm a lady, or I'll give you what for. For romance, I'm a sucker, and for jewels, even more. Oh, sweep me, yes, sweep me, overcome me with charm. I've heard you are gifted and that your smile can disarm. Do you think you might want me? Treat me like I deserve. Please me. Go and give it your all. Keep your love in reserve. Passion primed to explode. Yes, so down on me sweep. The thought of your swoopiness, oh, it fair makes me weep. Sweep me, oh, sweep me, yes, make me complete. I want to be worshipped, though fear we may never meet. This one's called What If, Inner Voice. What if, says an inner voice, what if you were wrong? A small mistake can grow much larger, and it doesn't take so long. A quick complaint, it rages louder. If left to fester after dark, a petty disagreement can well erupt from just a spark. Tall tales and fibs aplenty may soon morph into a lie. You'll still hear all words unspoken when you've made your last goodbye. What if, says an inner voice, what if you were right? That seed of doubt may flourish if left to thrive there overnight. A hope that's surely nourished may divide and multiply. A broken promise like an iceberg, all you hear is but a sigh. If you're haunted by an inner voice, just be sure you're not misled. The truth could never slay you, only what you've left unsaid. But another spelling mistake. What's knee? It says just knee, sure. N-E, not B-E. Why didn't the spell check pick that up, let alone my proofreaders? Ugh, dear, disgusted. Disgusted of Tunbridge Wells. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Yes, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Wow, really? No kidding.
Thank you, darling. And you too. Bye-bye.
Oh, that sounded good.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com. ShyLife.com.
Oh dear. What's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Let's go.
I have a voice.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
This one's about conkers, playing conkers, top at conkers, thwack. Thwack, there go the conkers, thwack, thwack, a clumsy strike. Still his conker is the victor, another loser takes a hike. Whack, here comes another, whack, whack, the same again. His conker left undamaged, another victim left in pain. Thwack, he's got a secret, thwack, thwack, a winning recipe. With conkers dipped in concrete, splinter-proof they then will be. Kalack, another loser, kalack, kalack, one more conker blown away. He grins because he's certain can't be beaten here today. Thwack, a new contestant, thwack, thwack, this one's a lass. Still her first hit is a good 'un, and he's alarmed to see such sass. Click-clack, returning fire, click-clack, good grief, so confident. Her second hit is even better. It seems his rival's far from spent. Thwack, she levels up another. Thwack, thwack, a tough nut this one to crack. His concrete conker damaged, now he fears her fast attack. Crack, his conker's splintered, crack, crack. How his top lip trembles so. Beaten by a girl to boot, oh what a crushing blow. Thwack, defeat hits quite a punch now. Thwack, thwack, for he's lost his precious prize. Sent crying to his mother, shooting right back down to size. Hip, hip, hooray for the new winner. Hip, hip, hooray, crowned top by all around. It would seem that cheats don't prosper, that they're one day all brought to ground. Thwack, how did she do it? Thwack, thwack, she knocked him dead. Concrete conkers aren't such a problem when your own are made of lead. I guess I should explain what a conker is. They're the fruit of the horse chestnut tree. I mean, a very common tree in the UK. Do you get horse chestnuts in America, those listening? Do you play conkers? Well, I mean, I haven't played conkers for 40-something years probably, but anyway. In the late summer and autumn, conkers grow on the tree and they drop, and the pods open up and the conkers are there, and you put a hole through them and put a string through the hole, and then you can hit other people's conkers, and people have contests. It's a big thing. It's a big thing in the UK anyway. I don't know where else it happens. Anyway, here's the last one. It's called Who Cares? Who cares for me? I'll tell you who. The pterodactyls in the trees, they do. Burrow-robbing bunnies, that's who. Who'll care for me? Suicidal pigeons? Those working for free? The vain, the odd and stupid? Those I pay to? Or those more? They do, that's who. They'll care for me, they'll all agree, you'll see. Yes, you'll see. Who cares for you? I just couldn't say. The psychopaths in Whitehall? They may. Carnivorous vegans? The Fae? Who cares for you? Beef-eating beef-eaters? I can't say I do. The demented, the sick and paranoid? Those with no clue? Or those and more? I can't say, they may. Who joined your queue? Who cares for you? You do. Yes, you do. There we go. That's it.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Well, gotta tell you, I didn't expect that.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, because I lost... What's going on? What happened?
Man, was that worth it or not? Oh my goodness, that was a darling little shoe. Whoa, I love that one. Great show, Paul. Yeah, that was a good shoe.
That was beautifully done. I'm going to have some orange squash now. It's an exciting life.
You can always call me.
Oh, everyone's a critic.
Et voilà.
Oi, oi, that's your lot. Bye.
Airplane. No, that's 772.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yankee.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Okay, stopping recording now.